There are many schools of thought on straight edge, like surrealism or the Communist Party or even Buddhism. Any ideology that's lasted longer than 5 years. This is the one that I grew up with in Florida in the 80s, and then we have out in Los Angeles right now. Many people know the big 3 rules of the straight edge movement. Don't drink, don't smoke, don't do drugs. But simply not drinking, smoking, and doing drugs does not make you straight edge the same way that loving thy neighbor does not make you a Christian. For me and the guys that I came up with, being straight edge was about choice. It was about staying sharp to see, feel, hear, and remember everything. It was about strength. And ultimately, for me, it's about fearlessness. There are 1,000 reasons to live a clean life, and I'm glad to see people doing it. I mean, I think it's great for pretty much everyone, but that's not being straight edge. The idea and the beliefs, and to a certain extent the culture and community, are what makes someone straight edge. The rules are just the manifestations of that and the customs that we keep. Being straight edge is about choice. Now, it may seem strange that holding rules that say don't do this and don't do that would be pro-choice, but the first fact to realize is that I'm choosing to abstain. This isn't something I defaulted to or the byproduct of some other morality or fear. I don't drink or do drugs because I choose not to. It's not being forced on me. I don't feel like I have to or that it's wrong or evil or I'm going to hell. Not at all. It's a choice, and I'm making it. And despite what the vegetarians say, being straight is not simply about treating your body better. If you were worried about your lungs, you wouldn't live within 100 miles of a major city. If I was worried about brain cells, I wouldn't surf waves bigger than I can handle. They kill off a block of brain cells every time I get pushed under and have to hold my breath for a little too long. And I can't remember the last decent pit that I was in, that we didn't come out all just physically damaged.
Chest, fucker, chest.
You're bleeding.
Am I bleeding?
Yeah.
Well, there is a lot to be said for treating your body well, and it's very much in line, perhaps even necessary, to keeping yourself able to choose and stay sharp and engaged. The truth is that veganism and vegetarianism and even sexual abstinence are not inherent parts of being straight edge. There was no vegetarianism in the straight edge movement until youth of today, the major band back in the youth crew days of the late 80s, discovered Krishna. Placing limits on sex, though, has been an orbiting moon of the big 3 rules for a while now, and it's easy to understand why. I mean, despite amazing contributions from females and an ever-growing number of girls with X's on their fists, the truth is that straight edge was always a boys' club, and males are easily obsessed with sex. I mean, it can hijack you and become the defining motivation as easily as any chemical. Swearing it off or defining it contains it. Now, there's nothing wrong with being focused. In fact, that's a great reason to lead a lucid life. But when that one something takes over, then you are no longer deciding what is right for you. Addiction takes away your ability to choose. Unquestioned habits, impaired judgment, foggy or warped perception, all take away your awareness and your ability to consciously steer your life. Your ability to stay engaged in what's truly happening around you. I don't want to disconnect from life.
I don't want to sidestep the world or clean it in my own mind. I want to be a part of it. I want to remember it. I want to see it, hear it, feel it, lick it, fuck it, eat it, get it under my fingernails. All of it, the good and the bad. I want to taste the salt and vinegar as well as the marshmallows and Kool-Aid. It's all part of this experience.
I want to confront life. Sure, it hurts, but I'll take my punches, honest, square, and see them coming. When I wear an X on my hand or my XXX necklace, I don't do it to brag or to boast. I do it to fly the flag, to find other people with the same feelings I have, to start a conversation with someone who doesn't, to offer precedent to those who haven't figured it out yet. Yes, you can do all this shit and more, and remember it in the morning, I am proof. But a symbol is not what it's a symbol of. It's not the name or the mantra or the icons, it's the ideology and the beliefs. And keeping those three simple tenets gives the belief a solid form. I mean, I don't preach it, I don't have to force it on others. Hell, I don't even have to leave the room when things go the other way. I simply don't smoke the cigarette. I pass the joint without hitting it. I have soda in my cup instead of beer. I don't have to prove anything to anyone. This is a commitment that I made to myself. Committing to seems contrary to the idea of choice. But again, I'm choosing to commit to the lucid life. And there's a strength in commitment. Now, the idea of commitment, whether it's getting married or joining the Fruit of the Month Club, is that you have that one thing to build off of and rely on, like a block for a foundation. Now, in my life, if I stay sharp and uninfluenced, then I'll always have one thing, myself. Don't drink, don't smoke, don't do drugs. The big three rules. But it's not about the alcohol or the nicotine or the sex or the obsession. It's about what they take away. They take away my ability to choose, to be aware and stay solid. Being straight edge is about exercising those things in myself to protect them. I'm not doing this to be a kinder person or to make the world a better place. I do it for myself. And if you don't agree, here's my email.